This is four-time Mr Olympia Jay Cutler. You're watching RxMuscle.com.
I'm standing here with four-time Mr. Olympia Jay Cutler at Unique Fitness Xtreme Gym here at Vs.Pros 24. Jay, they flew you in on a private jet here. You made it just in time.
I made it. I think Steve was a little nervous. He texted me at like 9:30 and he's like, "Are you in New York yet?" I said, "Yeah, man, I'll be there in an hour and a half. I think I'd be in New York by now."
Would you take a red eye?
Yeah. I came out of Vegas. I've been busy, man. The last week, I was at Mel's gym, his grand opening last weekend. And then I was
I heard you had a mob scene there.
Yeah, it was great. It was actually a great turnout. His location's a little different. I mean, it's people drove a far distance to come see it.
Port St. Charlotte is out there.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is Mel has a pretty big following already. He's got like those I don't know what if you want to call them. I hate to compare it to like the
second chance guys.
Yeah, like the percenter guys. So he's got a whole crew. He trains with a bunch of guys. So he has a great support. Everyone's really happy with what he's doing. And what's kind of nice is, he's kind of a family-orientated gym, and it seems kind of odd because Mel, he kind of looks a certain character, but we know how Mel is, his personality, and he is like a real family guy. So the turnout was really great, and then I flew back to Vegas. I was in the office before that down
Did you lay by Mel's pool? Did you get the whole pool experience?
Yeah, I got to sit there. I was actually working on emails all day on Sunday when
he was in the pool probably, right?
Of course, yeah. And then I flew back to Vegas. I had to go visit the military. I went to go visit the troops on Wednesday and Thursday, and then I was home for a day, and then I flew here.
How do you manage the schedule? This schedule has got to be busier than when you competed, without a doubt.
It is, but it's really what I enjoy to do, and I'll be honest, I mean, I think I've said it a few times, but I really didn't like competing as much. The whole transition was great, but actually getting up there on stage, and draining the water and kind of going against what you do to get that size in the gym, which the average person does, I mean, it kind of goes against everything we ever did. And even though I was winning a lot of the time, it really wasn't the most enjoyable time. I loved getting out there and hearing the crowd, but I really liked, I'll meet the Olympians when I stayed later than everyone else, and being at the expo, I was always there. I just wanted to spend more time with the fans, so this is really awesome. We have a huge, line coming in here, and, this is what I do.
You don't realize how much you really don't like competing until you're done competing, because I know you still had that, when you did the last Olympia, I think you were almost like you didn't want to give up. You wanted to try one more time, but I'm sure right now you're probably saying, what the hell was I doing?
You know what, though? Like I said, the last one was for the fans. I was able to get up there, and I was somewhat not perfect. I mean, as I aged and had a few injuries, it did hinder a lot of my training, but I was able to get up there without a torn bicep. The fans were like ecstatic to see me back up there, and it's funny now I'm posting stuff because I'm putting stuff out there about me training and everything. It's like, come on, one more time. You haven't given it all for the fans yet. And I'm thinking like, oh shoot,
you gave it all 10 times over.
Yeah.
What do you think about Lefroni making a comeback at 50? You think he'll do it?
You know what? I noticed he's got some swell going on.
Yeah,
I mean, he like we've heard him before say, I'm going to do a comeback, and it's kind of like, it's just chatter, but now he's actually, his physique, I saw he put on like a good probably 15 pounds and
more than that probably, yeah.
But I don't know what he's looked like lately. I haven't seen anything out there on him.
If Lefroni can get back to 85%, 90% of what Lefroni is, what is it his best, can he beat Phil Heath?
No, I mean, come on. Can anyone beat Phil Heath? I mean,
can Phil Heath be beaten this year in your mind?
I don't think so. I mean, I think there's going to be guys that, people are going to hype up as the show gets closer when they start presenting pictures. But I really think Phil, we've seen him last year falter a little bit, and Kai Green had that opportunity. The door was pretty much wide open, and you only have so many wide open doors before, and Kai's getting older, you know what I mean?
What about Sean Roden?
Sean Roden, he's improved. I mean, I see him. I've been training in Venice a lot. I've been staying out there. So he's made some improvements in those areas. I think his back and his chest. I know I talk to Chris almost every day, and he seems to be pretty high about his improvements. So it's just going to be, I wouldn't have been upset if he won last year, to be honest. I mean,
me neither.
I think he looked good. I really didn't think everyone was so fixated on Kai and Phil that it kind of took away from Sean, which I kind of felt bad. But I sat in the front row, man, and he looked great. He had the best overall balance of everything between conditioning size, and he looked pretty similar from morning to night. I was pretty happy with how he looked, and if he can improve on that, he has a great chance. But it's just the side shots. That's where it's going to be harder because
Bill's a freak from the side.
Well, he's just got a lot of depth, and that 10 years away Sean took. That's the density it takes, and that's what the difference between my physique at 25 and 35 when I started winning. I mean, I was huge. You remember at 25, I was huge.
I competed against you.
Yeah, but I just lacked that depth, and that's just it can only be presented with years of training.
How's Cutler Nutrition doing now?
It's doing very well. I mean, we're in a lot of places, obviously international. We've been doing a lot with bodybuilding.com, really getting that traction. I'm still traveling quite a bit for that. And
what's the most unusual place that you find yourself in, like country-wise, that you never thought you'd be in?
I mean, Colombia's a strong market. I went to Greece with the poor economy. They had a great the run with the product line so far. I'm working on a trip to Malaysia. I go back to Colombia for the second time. I'm going to Mexico City. I go to Mexico City. I mean, August is 3 international places, and then September I can start stepping back a little bit. I got some domestic stuff, but the Olympia, of course, is going to. I'm not going to Spain this year.
No.
Sitting out Spain, Arnold. And then I do Russia the weekend of the Nationals. I do a couple of other places. I think I'm just might get confused a little bit with the scheduling.
Yeah, you don't get tired of the travel? I burned out a little bit on it.
I don't want to say I get tired until the next week, and then I get the fans riding me, and it kind of gives me motivation. It's kind of like why I competed for so long, because the fans kept me in the game, and that's true. That's the truth. I mean, I know I was making great money, and I wanted the opportunity to be, at that higher level. But the fans really did a big favor by, always writing to me and keeping me motivated. And, I'm out there socially, so it really helps a lot.
Well, good luck with all the business ventures you got, and thanks for coming down to Bros vs. Pros.
Oh, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's the first time I've ever been around that experience. I wish I could actually sit and watch the event, but obviously you see what's going to happen here.
You'll hear it
in the next 5 minutes. Well, make sure they're loud, and make sure you let me know who wins, because I am interested. Who's your pick to win this thing?
The pros, we have Akeem Williams and Jeff Beckham.
Pretty strong, right?
They don't usually win. I got news to you. You usually get some guy, Charlie from the gym, who's been lifting his whole life and no one knows. That's what Bros vs. Pros is all about. It's making stars out of the regular gym guys.
How many guys are showing up to do this thing?
We got 30 people in this thing, over 30. So.
And what's the biggest one you ever did?
This might be close, but we've done some bigger ones, maybe in bigger, but I think this is the most people, because probably most of the people are here to see you too.
Well, it's pretty, I mean, that's good, but I mean, this is kind of like where your area is, so I mean, a lot of people hear about the event, which is pretty cool. I know I've seen it online. I've watched it before, but I watch it when when Jose was doing it. You probably can't get Jose to do it anymore, huh?
He's like, I'm too old. He told me. He's like, I'm gonna get hurt.
Jose, you're watching this, man. You're representing Massachusetts. I expect you to be in the pros versus bros sometime when it's on the East Coast. Okay, that's I'm challenging you now. I'm not going to be in it, but maybe I'll come watch it. So.
I asked him to come down. Now you got Jay Cutler telling you better come down, or you're letting down the East Coast. For now, though, we're going to get over to the Bros vs. Pros and get started. Jay Cutler, thanks very much for coming on. 4-time Mr. Olympia, Jay Cutler here all day long. Dave Palumbo, RxMuscle.com.